This video explains how to keep trailing zeros in the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you an example, and for this example we first need to specify a data object x, as you can see in line 2 of the code, and then we also can print this data object as it currently is by running line 3 of the code. And then you can see at the bottom that our example value is 1.1001. Now let's assume that we want to round this value to 3 digits on the right side of the decimal point. Then we can apply the round function, as you can see in line 5 of the code. And within the round function we need to specify our data object x and the number of values that we want to keep on the right side of the decimal point. So if you run line 5 of the code, you can see that another output is returned. However, this time only one value on the right side of the decimal point is returned, because the rounding function removes the last value of our input number, and for that reason the output of the round function is not showing the second and third value on the right side of the decimal point, because these numbers would be equal to 0. Now let's assume that we want to keep those zeros in our output. Then we can use the sprintf function, as you can see in line 7 of the code. And within the sprintf function we need to specify a character string containing a percentage sign, a point, the value 3, because we want to keep 3 digits on the right side of the decimal point, and the letter f. And then we also need to specify the syntax that we have used before, so the round function and our data object x and the number of places to which we want to round. And then I'm also storing the output of the sprintf function in a new data object that I'm calling x new1. So if I run line 7 of the code, you can see that this new data object x new1 is appearing at the top right. And we can print the content of this data object by running line 8 of the code. And now you can see that our output contains the trailing zeros, because the value that is shown is 1.100. You have to note that this output is formatted as a character string, as you can also see based on the quotation marks that are shown in the output. And the reason for that is that the R programming language shows numeric values without trailing zeros. So for that reason we have to use the character class to display the trailing zeros in our output. However, in this first example I have explained how to use the sprintf function to keep trailing zeros. It's also possible to use the paste0 function for this task, and this is what I want to show you in the next example in line 10 of the code. So in this example I'm using the paste0 function, and within this function I'm once again using the round function to round our data, and then I'm specifying 2 zeros within quotation marks on the right side of the paste0 function, and as in the previous example I'm storing the output of this in a new data object that I'm calling x new2 in this case. So if you run line 10 of the code, this new data object is created, and we can print the content of this data object by running line 11 of the code. And then you can see that the output of this code is exactly the same as in the first example. However, this time we have used the paste0 function instead of the sprintf function. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.